everybody, welcome to another episode of Widgets and Wonders. This is my show about great products from small companies. Now today we're going to take a look at the Skwad mark from the 40K podcast. This is a handy way of differentiating like kind of squads when they're on the table at a glance for you and your opponent to know who is in which squad. Great for armies like orcs or tyranids where you might have lots and lots of the same type of troop. They can get mixed up when they're actually fighting. So let's take a look at it right now.
So here are squad marks with a K. It's Skwad with a K and Marx with an X because 40K. Made by the 40K podcast. You can see here they are 3D printed in different colors of filaments and are designed to snap on to 25, 32, or 40 millimeter bases. Now, don't let the 40K podcast thing fool you. You can see here some examples of them on. You could use these for any games. They use these base sizes, and I would imagine that with demand, they would also be willing to put out more of these in the future for other games and other sizes. Now, this actually reminds me a lot of skill rings from Blood Bowl. There's an old tradition of putting colored elastics on your players. So at a glance, you can remember what skills were where, like who had block, who had guard, who had tackle. It was just a good way of visualizing things. But in this case, it's also super handy for players like me that play Deathwatch with a variety of mixed up weird squads, different weapons. You just snap them on the base, and now I can tell which of these Xenophase Blade guys is in what squad quickly at a glance. You can also use it to make characters pop. So if you want to see where your character aura is coming from, you can drop your captain there and put him on a different size or different color to make it pop out. Now, this probably wasn't something they intended when they made these, because obviously these were designed for 40K, but this would also be fantastic for those players not painting their Shadespire miniatures to avoid confusion in a mirror match. Just having a couple of these in your case would mean that if you haven't painted your your models, your opponent has neither, it's not who's blue plastic guy, it's who's blue plastic guy. You can see at a glance just which of these they're actually, or whose team they're actually on. So you can see I've just sort of marked down my Steelhearts champions here to show. Or in Age of Sigmar, of course, if you've got 30 completely identical looking dryads with almost no differentiating features, you could tell which squad is which. I know my buddy Wee, who is Skaven Insanity, would probably be able to benefit from having some different colors sort of pop to differentiate in the table who is who. This would be handy for orc players, Tyranid players, anyone that really needs to differentiate which squad is what. Now, of course, the color's nice and bright, so they do pop out, but it does make the game kind of look like they have almost like a StarCrafty kind of selected ring on them. So it might not be for the people who like the immersion gaming, but for those who are interested in sort of tactical play and being able to tell who's who, I think it's a great add-on to your collection. Just having a bunch in different colors and different sizes so that you can differentiate squad by squad and army by army what you're playing with.
And so there you have Skwad marks, a great cool new gaming accessory. Really simple, but really clever for the guys at the 40K podcast. I'll link it all below if you want to check it out. Now, if you know of a great product from a small company you think deserves more attention, you can have them email me at guerrillaminiaturegames@gmail.com or Facebook message me at facebook.com/outofthebasement into the streets, and I'll put it in front of as many people as possible. So you'll see it for more of this in the future. Till then, I'm Ash. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Deathray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.